Hello and good afternoon, dear students. Uh, my name is Dr. Shuaib Mohammad Bhat. I'm working as assistant professor at the Department of English at Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. Today, we shall be talking about notice writing. The topic for our discussion today is notice writing. One of the important topics, so I want you all to be very attentive. This topic is going to help you in your entire life, in your entire career, because it is associated with language, it's associated with writing. And writing is a domain which I feel every individual belonging to any domain, belonging to any stream, belonging to any field must be good at writing. So I hope this topic which we are going to discuss today will boost your writing skill, will help you to be good writers. So I want your attention in order to learn this topic. Yeah. So today we have this notice writing. Before I directly jump to the notice writing, I want to just tell you something about writing. We all know there are 4 skills. In order to learn a language, we have 4 skills are there. And these 4 skills, they are famous by LSRW skills: listening, speaking, reading, and writing skills. So writing is one of the skills which we require to learn a language. So when we are learning a language, we need to master these 4 skills. Without the expertise, without the knowledge of these 4 skills, one cannot learn a language. One cannot be called the master of a language. So that would be utter injustice with the language if we try to learn it, or if a person knows a language but is not good at all these, at any one among these skills. So that acquisition of language, that learning of language cannot be termed as a good learning of language, or that speaker of that language cannot be termed as a good speaker of the language. Obviously, in order to be a good speaker, one should know how to read, one should know how to write, one should know how to listen, because these are the other skills which help a person in order to be a good speaker. Or rest of the skills are important in order to be a good listener, in order to be a good writer, in order to be a good reader at the same time. So I would like to share the views of these 2 important persons. One is E.L. Doctorow. He is an American writer. He says about writing, he says, good writing is supposed to evoke sensation in the reader. Good writing. Writing is not anything I have written and I forgot about its impact on the readers. Oh, that's not writing. That's not intentional writing, or that's not effective writing. So this doctor says good writing is supposed to evoke sensation in the reader. Like he just elaborated it. Not the fact that it's raining, but the feeling of being rained upon. So one should literally feel what the writer has written in a particular or in a specific script. That is the effective writing. So writing should evoke sensation. It should appeal the emotions. It should appeal the mental ability of a reader. So one should not only know the fact that it's raining, rather one should feel of being rained upon. So writing, it should evoke those emotions regarding a particular concept which a writer is writing. As I told you, it's not like any idea is coming to anybody's mind and he's jotting it without knowing the perception of the readers, without knowing the level of the readers, or without making it very simple and lucid for the readers. If we write in that notion, if our writing is ambiguous, if our writing is more paradoxical in nature, if our writing is more having figurative language, so obviously the surface readers, normal readers, cannot read that, cannot extract the real message which we have encoded in that written script. So writing is a very interesting skill, is a very interesting domain. But I would like to support my argument with the views of George Orwell, one of the famous British novelists. George Orwell. Orwell was born in India. Yeah, born in India. Orwell wrote a lot about India. If you check his writings, you will find Indian themes are there. He wrote upon different Indian themes, Indian culture. There is one of his short stories which is coming to my mind, an interesting short story by Orwell, Shooting an Elephant. Shooting an Elephant, yeah. I read this story when I was studying in a college. So, George Orwell, what he says about writing? He says, good writing is like a window pane. Window pane. You look through a window pane. If that window pane is blur, if there is not that transparency, so you cannot see, you cannot just observe what's happening outside your home, outside your room. So good writing is like a window pane. Good writing it's unambiguous. There is no ambiguity. It's clear. It's lucid. So it's an art. See, you're writing with the intention. When you are writing a novel, you are writing any script you are writing for public convenience. So what is the basic intention of the writer? That is, this written script, it should be read by the people and people should understand it in the same vein or in the same notion as the writer has encoded this script, or as the writer has encoded some message for the readers in that script. This is what is the intention of all the writing, which is there for public convenience. Whether that is persuasive in nature, whether that is informative in nature, whether that is having an inquiring sense. So that's whether that is having an interrogative nature. So that is different domain. So a writer can reach to this ultimate goal, to the goal of the perception that the reader should perceive it, should receive it, should extract this particular meaning, this specific meaning from a particular written script. That can be extracted only when a writer treats his writing like a window pane. So there should be that transparency in the writing, that one can know, one can exactly reach up to that level which you want to convey through a specific written script. So I quoted Dr. and George Orwell for the intention that you as students, before we catch the topic notice writing, you should first know what writing is, what writing can do, how important is writing for you. It's writing which gives the mouth to an introvert person. An introvert person doesn't like to speak with others, doesn't like to share his or her opinions, ideas, sometimes problems, sometimes achievements to the others. So writing in those situations, writing comes as a substitute. An introvert person can express herself, himself in writing. And writing does a lot of wonders. It's not only that it's a substitute for an introvert person. So people are famous because of writing. People have earned a name, a fame, a reputation, a place with the help of writing. So writing, I can say, is a very fascinating art. Every person can be a writer, but every person cannot be a good writer. In order to be a good writer, there are certain qualities. There is a criteria. There are different strategies. So that's not a topic of discussion right now. But to speak about these things, to throw these questions in your mind, you will feel it mandatory for yourself to know something more about writing. And I hope you will try to be good writers. Now, coming back to the topic of the discussion, notes writing. As I told you writing, I told you what writing is. Now we have notes writing. Notes writing, first there is an introduction I have given, one of the very important methods of starting a lecture. That is this question method, by asking some questions to students. So the first thing is, how do we communicate? How do we communicate? There are different ways of communication. When it comes to writing, writing is a means of communication. As I have told you in the previous lecture, when we were discussing about verbal and non-verbal communication, there I told you, when I was discussing verbal communication, I told you verbal communication, there are two subcategories are there. Oral communication, written communication. Because verbal communication means the communication that is done verbally. One is by the word of mouth and another is by a piece of writing. When it comes to piece of writing, that is the written communication. And written communication itself is the subheading of verbal communication. So writing is a means of communication. We share our ideas with the help of writing. We share our opinions, facts, ideologies. We transmit information. We talk to people. We deliver speech. We write speech. We talk to people with the help of writing. We share different ideologies with the help of writing. So it's a means of communication. Now the question is, how do we communicate? There are different ways. Sometimes we communicate one-to-one. A person is communicating with another person. One-to-one communication. One-to-many. Right now, I'm a single speaker and you are many students in front of me. So one-to-many communication. Then it's one-to-many for a period of time. Sometimes for a period of time, we speak to many people. This is how we communicate. This is how we communicate. Now, what is the relationship of this communication with the writing? I told you. Writing is a means of communication. So there is the strongest relationship between writing and communication. Then, now when it comes to when we speak or when I speak, writing is a means of communication. There are different components of writing by which we communicate. Like we write emails, we write letters, we write messages, short messages. There are memoirs, MEMO. With the help of these different components, we do communicate with the people. And one among those components is notice writing. Now, what's notice? It's a formal means of communication. Now, this is clear to you. Notice is a means of communication. Because I discussed with you how writing is a communication. And under the heading of writing, there are different components, different ways of writing. Like as I told you, we have notice, we have emails, we have letters, we have memo, we have messages. So different these types are there. So now this notice, it is a formal means of communication. It's not informal, it's formal. When we talk to our friends, when we talk to our relatives, when we talk to our kids and kins, when we talk to our parents, we never send notices to them. We simply send, if it is through written communication, we send messages. We send letters as well. Sometimes, very less emails we are sending. Otherwise, emails are mostly used among the business circles. But there are certain cases where people communicate with the help of emails. But when it comes to notice writing, notes, as I told you, we do not send notice to our relatives, to our friends, to our kids and kins, to our parents, to our siblings, because that is a different domain. They are closer to us. We implement informal ways of communication there. Like we are sending a short message. We are sending a letter, informal letters. But when it comes to notice, it's a formal means of communication. Formal. Which is being served. Formal. Which is being used in some institutions. Which is being used in some departments, whether government, whether private, whether semi-government. So this is a means of communication which is being used in the offices, in the departments, in the institutions, in different organizations, in different business circles. So this is not a means of communication which we implement or adopt for the communication with our parents, with our family members. No, not at all. Rather, this is a formal way of communication. When a boss is speaking to his senior or junior or to her senior or to her counterpart or to her colleagues, to his colleagues, when you are writing a letter to your teacher, an application to the teacher or principal, to the dean research, to the dean academics, you are writing to any other department, to the electricity department, you are writing to any other departments like health, you are writing to irrigation department, you are writing to any other department. So that's formal. That's not informal. Informal is when you are writing or communicating with your relatives or friends, etc. Now, the question is, why do we write notice? What is the purpose of this notice writing? If there are letters, there is email, which is vastly used by the people. Letters are there. Memo is there. Why do we write notices? Why? What is the need to write a notice? Yeah, there is a need to write a notice. It has its own space. It has its own value. So it cannot be deleted, erased, eradicated from the academics or from the domain of writing, or from the domain of communication, more particularly. Why? What is its purpose? to announce. When we are announcing anything, it may be the announcement of any event, it may be the announcement of your exams, it may be the announcement of any of the activities going to be held in the college or outside the college. It may be any announcement in any private department, in any business circle, in any MNC, multinational company. So announcements, we do announce with the help of notice writing. For the announcement, we never write letters, never ever. There may be people who are writing like this, but that's not a right way to announce any event or any situation, any activity, any event. So we cannot announce with the help of letter writing, with the help of message writing. No, not at all. The best way is to write a notice. So then, display information to a specific group of people. Yeah. This notice, it contains the information for a specific group of people. Say, I would like to quote an example. In this college, in the Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, in our college, we have different branches of engineering here. They are pursuing their education here. But when your department, let's take the example of IT, information technology, it has to announce about any cultural festival, which the Department of Information Technology is organizing for the students of information technology. So this information is for a specific group of people. That specific group of people are the students of information technology. So this information is for a specific group of people. So such informations which are there for a specific group of people, they are being shared by the help of notice writing. So notice writing, notice it contains, it displays. The word display has been used because we display the notices on the notice boards. That's why I used the word display. So it displays information to a specific or a particular group of people. Then, to be pinned up on display boards in schools, public places, or newspapers. The purpose, again, next purpose of this notice is, it remains pinned up on the display boards. Obviously, purpose contains, like we announce things, different events, different activities, different tasks with the help of notice writing. And one of its features is, it remains pinned up on the display boards. You may have seen in the display board of your department or of the entire college, there are different notices which are pinned up there. They are pinned up on notice boards in schools, public places, or newspapers. It's not only now schools or colleges or universities or the institutions of education, institutions of academia are only writing notices. No. Different organizations are writing notices because different organizations have to announce different events, different programs, different activities. So they announce these things with the help of notices, and these notices, they are pinned up on display notice boards. Not only in schools, not only in colleges, not only in universities, but in other departments as well. If you go to some other department of irrigation, department of fisheries science, if you go to any hospital, you go to any research institute, you will find every department is having a notice board, and there are pinned up, number of notices are pinned up there. This is this was about the meaning of notice. What is notice? How is it a formal means of communication? And what is the purpose of notice writing? Now, content of a notice. What is its content? This is the rule. This first one, always write a notice in a box. You have to remember it. Always remember it. Every notice must be, or every notice has to be written in a box. Without box, we cannot write a notice. Without box, we cannot think about notice. So this is the rule. Every notice has to be there in the box. So we are drawing a box, and inside that box we are writing the stuff for the notice. It cannot exceed this boundary line. It should not come out of this line. No, not allowed. Not from any of the sides. So all the stuff which we are writing in the notice, it must be there in the box, not outside the box. As I told you, not outside box, rather inside the box. There every stuff, everything is inside the box. Then there is a proper format of writing a notes. As if I ask you, or if I tell you what is a letter writing, what is the format of letter writing? Obviously, you may be knowing where to put the sender's address, where to put the receiver's address, where to put the date, where to put subject line, where to put salutation, where to put body and how to divide body, and how many paragraphs are required for writing the body of a letter, and what is complementary clause. How can we close a letter? Different components are there. So what is a reference line, as we use in some business letters, reference line? So there is a format. When it comes to essay writing, again we have a format. When it comes to paragraph writing, we have a format. Every paragraph. When it comes to paragraph writing, it should be in a single paragraph. There should be a topic line. There is no introduction. There is no division in the paragraphs. There is a topic line, then comes the body, then comes the concluding sentence. Not a paragraph, entire paragraph or conclusion. So these are, as I told you, these are the formal ways of writing. Same is the case for the notice. When I told you it is a formal way of communication. This is the way which, this is the means of communication which different institutions are implementing, are using in the institutions. So it seems that it should not be very arbitrary in nature. So it has its own rules and regulations. At the very top comes the name of the organization, institution, or office issuing it. At the top, when we write a notice, at the top there is the name of the organization. There is the name of the institution. There is the name of the issuing office. Different offices are issuing notices. Office of the collector, deputy collector, tahsildar. Different officers are there. They are issuing notices. So at the top, when we write a notice, at the top comes the name of the issuing office, issuing institution, issuing organization at the top. So then comes date of a notice. Then we are writing the date of notice. The date on which we write this notice. The date on which this notice is being pinned up or displayed on the notice board. So the first thing is the name of the institute, name of the issuing office, name of the issuing organization, institution. The second thing is date. Then there is a specific location for the date that I'll show you in the upcoming slides. Then we have the heading. This is not the heading of any activity. This is the heading which itself is notice. For all the notices which we are writing, there is one common heading, that is notice, to make it clear. See, when we are writing a letter, we never mention in that letter, like we never write at the top LETTER. For writing an email, we never write at the top E, then mail, MAIL. Never ever. We never write this. But this form of writing, this form of communication, it remembers that its name should be there inside it. Then we write the heading notice, so that it becomes clear for the people, yeah, it is notice. It's not any other document that has been pinned up there. It's not any other document that's being displayed here. So we get an idea, yes, it is a notice. And when it is a notice, so everybody reads the notice. Because there remains some important information regarding the people who are associated with the institute which has issuing this notice. Then there is a suitable description, or I can say it's eye-catching caption or heading to hold immediate attention of the reader or readers. Then comes the heading. This heading is very short. It's attractive. It's catchy. It's eye-catching. I can say that it makes a person spellbound. So when you read the heading of a notice, if you belong to that institution which has issued it, the heading, it is in that sense, so you have no other chance rather than reading it. So you have to read it. Because the heading contains the information. Because if you do not write the heading which is attractive, which is catchy, which is eye-catching, which is spellbounding, people cannot read our notices. If it is a normal heading, like there is a sentence, one long sentence or two long sentences for heading, people may feel it very lengthy. People may feel it like it's extra information, it's lengthy. So people may not read it. So then what we should do, it should be a suitable description. It should be eye-catching caption. It should be a heading which can catch the immediate attention of the reader. A reader should stop there. Once a reader reads the heading of the notice, he or she should stop. Or they should stop, readers should stop. And they should read this notice from the beginning to the end. This is about the heading. Then body of the notice. Then comes body of the notice. Body is very essential. It's as essential as the upper components I discussed with you. Rather more essential. Because we are jotting down, we are encoding all the message which we want to share with the people or share to the people, that we encode in the body. Body contains all the stuff. Body contains the information. Body is that announcement which we are making. Body is that information which we want to give a particular section of the people or society. So this body, there is an art to construct this body. It should not be ambiguous. As I quoted George Orwell, it should be like a window pane. I would like to go to an example. You want to call people. You want to ask students to give their names for a singing competition or for any other competition, which students would love to enjoy and take part in. But unfortunately, you have encoded your message, the notice, in such a way, students are not able to understand it. So what would be the impact of your notice? Impact would be like this. You will not get the participants, and at the same time, you are just bruising this opportunity. You are snatching the opportunity of these students who want to take part in the singing competition or in any other competition for which you are writing. So body, it should be constructed. There should be a transparency. A reader, a normal reader should understand what you want to convey to him or her or them. Readers should understand what you want to convey to them. It should not be ambiguous, not paradoxical in nature, not more ironic, but simple. That is the concept or KISS concept. KISS means keep it simple and straight. We need to keep it simple and straight. As long as notice is simple and straight, it can be decoded by the readers in the same way as we expect them to decode it. Then there is signature of issuing authority along with designation. Signature of issuing authority. The authority, the person, the office, the chair who is issuing this notice, he or she has to sign it. He or she has to mention his or her designation. He or she has to mention his or her name, designation, and there should be the signature of that authority, of that person who is issuing this notice. Because I told you at the earlier, it is a formal mode of communication. It's not informal. You are writing date somewhere, or you feel there is no need to write the date. It's not informal. You're not drawing your signature, or you're not writing your designation. Because your parents, your friends, they know which designation you are having. Even though when you write a notice, the expected readership or the readers, they may be knowing your designation, but still you are bound by the rules you have to write because you are writing a formal document. Formal documents, they don't give you this liberty to include or exclude the elements of your choice. No, not at all. There is no space for that thing. Once it's a formal document, we have to abide by the rules and regulations. Yeah, I hope you all have understood this. So the first thing is always write a notice in a box, then the name of the issuing authority, then we have date of the notice, the date on which the notice has been written, has been displayed, heading notice should be written, then suitable description, it should be eye-catching, it should be a heading which is very strong, which can catch the attention of readers, then body, I discussed the body in detail, then signature, designation and name of the issuing authority. These are the important points. One should not skip any one among these points. If we skip any one among these points, we may not be able to give the exact information which we want to give to our readers. And that notice cannot be called as a good notice, a right notice, if it does not include any of these elements. So these are important elements. Then we have purpose, important points to remember in a notice. As we discussed earlier, I gave you when I was just giving you some information, I was throwing some questions on you like, how do we communicate? What is the purpose of notice writing? There I gave you some hint about the purpose of notice writing. But here, I would like to take more liberty to explain it in detail. So, we shall be talking about purpose and important points to remember in a notice. What is the purpose? What is the purpose of writing a notice? Its purpose is to call a meeting, drawing attention, making an appeal, or informing general public about some issue of concern, so on and so forth. So the purpose of writing the notice is sometimes to call people for a meeting. Your college, university or universities, school or schools, different organizations, different departments. whether government or private or semi-government, as I told you earlier. So they write notices for this purpose also, when these institutes have to call their employees or some other people for a meeting. So they inform these people with the help of notice writing. This is an announcement, as I told you earlier. What is the purpose of notice? Its purpose is to announce. What are these? Which announcements are there? Announcement for a meeting. To call people for a meeting. Then, drawing attention. Obviously, for example, your college is going to organize a book fair in the college, where students who are good readers, who want to purchase books, they will be given a good discount. So this college will be doing this in order to improve the reading habit among the students. This would be an initiative of your college. Let's assume. So now college, the authority, issuing authority, or the concerned head of that book fair, will write a notice, and that will be pinned up in the notice board, and that will contain the information regarding the book fair, regarding the venue of that fair, regarding the timing of that book fair. And it will also invite the students, to a particular group of students. It may be all the students of the college, or it may be only the students of a particular section. So this notice, it draws your attention. We write notice to draw the attention. So that notice has been written with an intention to draw your attention towards this book fair. This is another purpose of writing notice. Then, making an appeal or informing general public about some issue of concern. Making an appeal or information in order to give an information. Sometimes your college may write a notice, like if the college has installed, if the college is giving you free access to its internet connectivity, that you are having free access. But I'm giving you an example. If the college is giving you an access to get the books from the library without any cost, or the college is giving you access to take books for the long semester with you, that's not the case in any of the institutes here in the country. I feel not in the world, but no institute is giving books for longer periods of time. Because these books cannot be used only, they're not meant for only a one reader. Others have to use them. Now assume your college is giving you the books for the whole long year, or for the whole long your degree for 3-4 years. Books will remain with you. So it's an information. There is an information which college has to give to you, that you as students, you can use the books for the long semester. There is no need to submit your books back only after 15 days or 30 days or 6 months. No, you can use the books for 3 long years. So this is an information. How can this college provide this information to you? It can be done with the help of notice writing. Then, or to inform general public on a certain issue of concern. If there is any issue, for example, like we recently we all witnessed COVID-19. Now government of India, any government, because it spread all over the world, any government or any of the institutions of any society, any public institution, wants to give a notice to the people not to roam outside the home, not to come outside the home without wearing masks, use sanitizers. So this information can be given with the help of notice. This all is the purpose of notice writing. Then there are some points which we need to remember when it comes to notice writing. Very important points. We have 5 W's. 5W means these are 5 points which start with W, with the letter W. That's why In order to just memorize it or in order to just rot it, it's 5 Ws. So we have the first thing, what's going to happen? These are the important points regarding a notes. When you are writing a notes or when you are reading a notes, you should have one thing in your mind, what's going to happen? Means this notice is regarding some event. It is regarding some task. It's regarding some activity. It is regarding some information also. So what is there in the notice? When you are writing the notes, you need to just keep in the mind what I have to include in the what I have to write in the notes. And when you are the readers, you have to keep this thing in mind. What is happening in the notice? What is this notice all about? Okay. Then where it will take place? Where? You are writing a notes, as I informed you, calling students for some festival, informing students about some blood donation camp. So this has to happen at a certain place. So where? That means the venue. So you need to keep this thing in your mind when you are drafting a notice or when you are reading a notice. The venue you have to include. Venue you have to know when you are reading a notice. Where will a specific topic or specific activity, specific lecture be held, which is being communicated to you with the help of notice. Then, when it will take place, when another element which you need to include in the notice writing is date and time. When will it happen? You are writing a notice, you have to include date and time. You are reading a notice, you have to observe, you need to know what is the time and date of a particular event. Then, and while writing, this is very important, you need to know, because there is a confusion. In Britain or in British English, how do we write dates? First we write the day, like if it is 10th October, we write like 10. I would like to go with the other date. If it is 16 October, we write 16 day, then we write month, then we write year. But in USA, in the American style, they first write month, then they write date, then they write year. So this is ambiguous in nature. It creates confusion in the mind of readers. So in order to avoid this confusion, what we need to do, it's better to include the name of month, like this, 16 October. Then with comma or sometime or without comma, both are applicable, we write here. So while writing date, mention the name of month to avoid the confusion. To avoid the confusion, it is better to mention, it's better to note down the name of the month rather than the figure, rather than this numericals, we should write the name of the month. Then, who can benefit from the information? As I told you when I was explaining the notice, I told you it is for a specific group of people. Who can benefit from the notice, from the information? So it should include that bunch of people, that bunch of students, that bunch of other people who belong to other section. Then whom to contact? Who is the person we should contact? Who is the person who is going to write our names for a particular event, for a particular activity? So these are the 5 W's which we need to know. This is now, this we are having the format. This is the format. This is the company. ABC is the company. It is issuing authority or agency or an institute. I told you at the top comes the name of the issuing authority, issuing agency. So at the top we have this ABC company. Then comes date. Date we write in the left side corner. So this is actually the box, because every notice has to be in the box. I'm drawing this box. So then we have date. Beneath date, we have notice. And then we have subject. You should not write subject, then make it colon. No. You have to write the subject. Whatever your subject is, you have to write that. Then there is body of notice. And in the body, there are certain things which you need to take care of. Like reason for writing the notice. That is, as I told you, what's happening in the notice. Why do you write the notice? Relevant event and occasion information. If it is about an event, we need to give the information regarding the event. Information about date, time, venue. It should be there, and it should be in the bold. That I'll tell you. This is content. Then there is signature of the issuing authority. There, it's his or her name, designation. This comes there. So this is important. Then there are essentials of notice writing. And what comes in the essentials, these are very important points. So you need to just keep these points in your mind. One is word limit should be 40 to 50 in body. When it comes to body, word limit does not include your heading. It does not include your complementary, when we close the notice by the designation, by the issuing authority's name, by when we write date. These things are not being counted. What is being counted? That's the body of the notice writing. So the body should be within 40 to 50 words. Remember, you are writing a notice, you are not writing a letter, you are not writing an essay, you are not writing a paragraph. People don't have time. You are right, this can be read by the people who work in an organization. They don't have that much leisure time so that they can read your notice which spans in 2 or 3 pages. There are other work to do. So it should be very short, very crisp. As I told you, there should be this KISS concept should be implemented. Short and simple, straight and simple. Then language must be simple, clear, lucid. Language. When you are writing in the ambiguous language, you are writing in the aphoristic language, you are using more complex sentences, lengthy sentences. So you cannot be exactly decoded by the readers. Your message will be faulty message. Your notice will be a faulty notice. You may not reach your expectations. The reason is this: your language is not according to the standards of your readers. So one should always go with simple, clear and lucid language. Then avoid lengthy sentences, digressions and figurative language. One should not maximize the length of the sentences. One should not make digressions. It should be to the point, straight. And one should not use figurative language. Figurative language one should not use. Rather, one should use very surface language, where the language is being used or has been used in a normal sense. No use to go with similes, metaphors, oxymoron or other figures of speech. Rather, a very simple language, not so long sentences. No, without any digression, because you are going to give a very particular information to the people. Take care of grammar, more specifically of punctuation. One should take care of grammar, because grammar matters. If you write, I have eaten food, and if you only change one word there, I had eaten food, lot of meaning has got changed. A grammatical mistake can cost you a lot when you are writing a notice. So one should be very aware with the grammar. One should use grammar in a very right way. And one should use punctuation marks. One should use in a very correct sense. Then make use of different fonts. There is a liberty we can make use of different fonts, big and small. And the font size, it depends upon the importance of sentence. See, when we are writing the heading, the font means it's bigger. When we are giving any important information, we highlight that thing. We write that in the bold letters. For example, you are writing a notice regarding any regarding any event to be held, to be organized by your university, college, or any other department. So you write the name of the event in the bold letters. Sometimes you italicize any information in order to make it, in order to tell people that this information is important. You cannot miss this information. Then I have a sample question for you. Like the question is, you are the cultural committee secretary of your school. Your school is organizing an inter-house English debate competition. Now write a notice to be put on the school notice board inviting the names of participants for the same. This is the question. Okay. Now see. At the top comes the name of the issuing agency, that is the name of the school. Issuing authority, name of school. Then comes notice, which we call as heading notice. Then comes date, where we have the name of the month, April. Then subject, it's catchy. See, inter-house English debate competition. So font is different. And in colors you can use. This is heading. Then body. Body contains the name of the event. Body contains the classes, the audience which we require. Body contains the date of the event. Body contains when the dates, when the names, up to which date the names can be accepted by the authority. And there is the signature of issuing authority. There is the name and there is the designation. So now, hope you have understood notes writing well. Now it's time for your test. There is an assignment for you. You are in charge of your schools or your college's photography club in not more than 50 words, because that is the maximum length you can use for notice writing. Write a notice to be put on your school notice board where you request for the best photographs for the upcoming school magazine. This is your homework. I will check. I want you to write this notice. So I'll be checking this. So today we are done with the notice writing. So all the important components of notice writing I shared with you regarding the components, regarding the format. So I feel you have understood well. I want you to go with all the elements. I want you to go with all the components of notice writing so that you can clearly understand it, so that there is no confusion in your mind. So we cannot skip any element from all the components which are there, which we require in order to write a notice. I would like to end up here my lecture today. Goodbye. Take care.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.